Good evening, teacher. My purpose today is to talk about the cultural differences I found when I traveled to the jungle. In this presentation, I'm going to share my experience traveling from the bustling capital of our country to the heart of the Amazon jungle. This journey through different cities of the jungle opened my eyes to the rich diversity within Peru. So let's dive into the contrast through real experiences. To get us started, I want to mention the first impressions I got. Well, in Lima, we we have a modern city, we have busy streets, and since we are located in the coast, we have the sea breeze around us. Also, the lifestyle is pretty fast. There's a lot of traffic, and people seem to be always in a rush, right? Meanwhile, in the jungle, we can find lush greenery, humid air, and slower pace. Locals are more friendly, they seem more relaxed, and everyone greets you with a smile. I remember when my son and I landed to the jungle, someone immediately offered us a ride on a motor taxi and asked where we were from. And I think this was pretty nice because in Lima, people barely make eye contact in the bus, right? Now I'm going to talk about the differences about food in Lima. Well, is as we know, the capital is very well known for world-class gastronomy. We have dishes like ceviche, lomo saltado, anticuchos, etc. In the jungle, they have more exotic ingredients, exotic food like juanes, tacacho con cocina, patarasca, inchicapi, etc. And we can find lots of exotic fruits as well, like aguaje, eh, cocona, etc. Meals are made with banana leaves and local fish. For example, panes are served in banana leaves. This makes me remember the time that we were starving after going trekking to the Gokta waterfall, and we found a lady selling panes right in the middle of the path. First, I hesitated. I didn't know if I wanted to buy food right away in the middle of the jungle, right? But we really needed to eat something. So I bought two Juanes, and all of a sudden it started to rain like hell. The rain was very, very hard. So we had to get into a small cave to have lunch. And well, I think the experience couldn't have been better. My son really had a great time. Let's move on to communication and language differences. In Lima, Spanish is dominant, and in a more formal tone, many sense or interactions. While in the jungle, there's a mix of Spanish and indigenous languages like Shaninka or Janisha, and conversations are more informal and they have more warm interactions. When we visited a small village, I tried to say a few words in Shaninka, and they laughed out loud, but not because they were making fun of me, but because they were amused by my effort. And I think the situation created a bond instantly. It was very nice. Now, talking about daily life and routine, well, in Lima, we have the structure, schedules, office time, right? Like 9 to 5 work days, depending on the kind of work we have. And people often spend their weekends at malls, beaches, or museums. On the other hand, in the jungle, life flows with nature, right? People start their days by the sunrise and the sunset winds it down. And activities revolve around the river, the community, and tradition. I remember I woke up at 5 a.m. to the sound of birds and other animals. And by 6 a.m., the whole village was already active. We were invited to go to pick up some fruits. So it's like we were had to harvest our own breakfast. And after that, I remember we went to the river and play with the kids around. And in Lima, people are still snoozing their alarms by this time, right? So it's kind of the differences between the schedules. Finally, about community and values, where Lima people are more individualistic and with fast interactions. On the contrary, in the jungle, there's this strong sense of community and sharing is key. And also, guests are treated like family. When we visited the Ashaninka community, we were offered to dress like them, to eat with them, and also to drink masato, which is a craft drink they make at this community. Then, um, well, we couldn't refuse to drink it. We really had to because otherwise they would get mad, right? After that, we danced around the fire and we really had a great time dancing with them and sharing their customs and traditions. Uh, that time we really felt like we were part of their community and we really loved that. Well, in conclusion, this trip taught me that cultural differences aren't just about the traditions. They are about how people live, how people think, and how they connect to each other in these interactions. And from Lima's cosmopolitan vibe to the jungle's rooted wisdom, I think both worlds have something really powerful to offer. And I strongly believe that the best way to learn all of this is by traveling. So I invite you to travel around Peru and to experience these cultural differences by yourself. Thank you so much.